bio. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. We off the record.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. We off the record. We off the record.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing, man? Yes, sir.
This man, Scotty. Hey, man. Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm getting better with the computer and the technology and the cameras. My background looks like crap, but next week I'll have it right, man. I'll do a little bit more editing.
You got behind you. I mean, you good. You good right now. Hey,
I'm trying to step it up. I'm trying to step it up.
Hey, baby steps, man. This man went and now he can't even my bad. Get himself together. I got to get myself together. I'm talking trash to you. But on this Off the Record, I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B. How's your week been, brother?
It's been good. It's been good. Watched the inauguration today. You know, that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was different. Then I didn't really do much else. I've been chilling. But
the inauguration, it was a good day today. It was a real good day today. I think a lot of people. I just feel like change is coming. Change is coming.
Yeah, it just felt different, right?
It felt different. I even felt like we, as a country, were a little bit more united today. Just people's energy was just different. Just watching the news and stuff like that. So, definitely good day. American history.
Yeah, man.
That's sad. That's sad, right?
You said what?
I said that's sad. Cats have not been happier to have a new president in office.
As long as I've been voting, even when Bush was out, I don't even think it was like. I think it was like cool. You know, there was excitement. It was history, but today it just felt like a breath of fresh air. And you know, but this ain't a political show, so we won't delve too much into that, and we'll talk football a little later.
So I do got a question, and you could save it for the end of the show. Since we're on pardons, if you had to pardon one sports person for the most idiotic play, who would it be?
Say that. Say that.
So if you had to pardon somebody, like for just a bonehead, stupid play, like you just forgive them, and just think about it. Like you don't have to answer it now. Who would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. I got some people in mind, and I'll say that's a good question. I
got mine. I want to tell you mine.
Okay.
I pardoned Ricky Williams in 2005 for leaving the Dolphins to smoke weed. It's been a long so look, right. We're all fans of teams, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know, my connection to a lot of different players that don't play on my favorite teams. This is my fantasy football. So back in 2005, I had the first number 1 overall draft pick, and Ricky Williams was coming off the season. He rushed for 1,800 yards, and I took him in my very first money league. I took him first,
right?
And man, I didn't know he was going to stop playing football. I wasted that draft pick on him, lost my money, and I can never look at Ricky Williams the same. So today, I am partnering Ricky Williams back all the bad stuff. We're good, Ricky. We're 16 years later. Me and you are good now.
I give you one now, and I'll tell you one later on in the show.
Okay.
The first one is Leon Lett.
Oh.
Leon Lett. Yeah, Leon Lett. Multiple times actually in the Super Bowl, even though it was a blowout, and on Thanksgiving against the Dolphins, when he should have just let the ball go, and and Cowboys ended up losing that game. But I got some others later because that's actually a really good question.
So, I got some others, and we'll share it a little later.
I guess we could go right into the Nets. Tonight the big three play together. You and I have had I would say a healthy discussion with some of our other friends about the Kyrie situation. But before we get to Kyrie, James Harden played his first game on, I believe it was Saturday, and came up with a triple-double. I think it was a 40-point triple-double. He followed that up with a few nights ago against the Bucks with, I believe he had 34 or 36 points. So I think it's safe to say that so far so good with Harden to the Nets. What are your thoughts on the first two games with Harden in Brooklyn?
Yeah, like Harden said today, when they were at OKC, they didn't really know how to play. They were just running and shooting and dunking. But, now they know how to play basketball, and it's going to be a show. I mean, he set, the record for assists for the Nets. I mean, he had 14 assists in his debut game. They're the first two players to come together and score over 30 in their first two games together. So, you add Kyrie to that. You've got an unstoppable team. It is going to be primetime television. The Bucks, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And I know it's only 2 games in, but if everybody stays healthy and everybody plays nice with each other, it's like I told you. We've talked about that. I told you I had the Nets coming out the East. Is it enough for the Lakers? We'll see, because it's still a lot of basketball left. It's a lot of trades that can happen. But they look good. So when just looking at these 2 games, I feel like scoring wise, I don't think they had a problem. They didn't have a problem before Harden got there. They damn sure don't have a scoring problem now. I think losing Allen and Taurean Prince and LeVert, which we'll talk about LeVert in a second. I think that loses a lot defensively. I don't know if DeAndre Jordan is enough, defensively. He's not even that old, but it to me it feels like he's like an old guy now, But I don't know what it is. Maybe because he's moved around a little bit the last few years, and he doesn't seem like the Clippers DeAndre Jordan. So, and if you don't get the Clippers DeAndre Jordan, what is he really giving you? What is he really giving you? So he's giving solid rebounding. He's rebounding the ball.
Yeah, but is that enough? I do think that they still have time to make more moves to get better defensively. Because that's where the problem is. Because it's not. Yeah, Kyrie didn't play these last 2 games, but it ain't nobody in the league is scared of Kyrie defensively.
Did you see the Raptors dropped Alex Len today? That's a person that I would think that they could pick up. They've got 3 open spots. Right. That's a serviceable big man as they come. Just to create some depth on that front line. Like you said, they have time to pick up players, and they don't really have to pick up any superstars. I mean, they can get some just veterans that just know how to play and just go with it.
Yeah, and so and that's the good thing because they have Harden, KD, and Kyrie. So we're talking about defensively, and we, you know, a lot of times you talk about you know, late game situations where you may need stops, but I don't know if they're gonna have that many games where they're gonna need stops, but not in the regular season. Now, once you get to playoff time, now you're like, oh well, we need a couple stops. You know, who we gonna go to? So
Mike D'Antoni's offense is going to be. I mean, it's going to work to.
It's going to be on steroids.
It's going to be on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on any given night, you're going to have to be able to score 140, 130 points just to keep up with this team. I mean, they between Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. I mean, that's a matchup nightmare. I mean, and if somebody's cold, I mean, you still have enough firepower to do what you need, and then you still retain veterans like Joe Harris. He's playing phenomenally. Yeah. Nah, he's stretching the floor out really well. I mean, they got some pieces. It's a good team.
Yeah.
Now,
so,
what I worry about is can they all get along?
Oh, I'm not worried about that. That doesn't worry me one bit. That doesn't worry me one bit because it's almost like you and I are on the team, and we come to the same team, and then we can use the show for instance. You know, we bring we cool, you know, and we bring somebody like, oh yo, that person is yo, they are a key cog or whatever. It's like yo, bring him on because if he cool with you, then ultimately he cool with me, and that's how I feel like Kyrie and Harden may not be as cool as KD and Harden and KD and Kyrie, but the key cog is KD. So and I think, you know, with the way he is and you know, I'm sure, you know, they all worked out together in the off season. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think you'll have an issue with somebody's holding the ball too long, you know, because let's not forget that Harden came in the league as a point guard, and he even said it the other night that you know, he just got to get his that point guard mentality back, which I don't see. I don't think it'll be a hard issue.
As long as they all
his first game.
Yeah, as long as they all buy in, you know, like you said, it shouldn't be too hard for them to buy in. But what concerns me is James Harden. Yeah, I'll just start with him. He has not been able to get along with anybody. I mean, he couldn't get along with Kevin McHale. Didn't get along with Dwight Howard. He didn't get along with Chris Paul. He didn't get along with Russell Westbrook. And I mean, he knew John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins for about 5 minutes, and he couldn't get along with them.
Well,
so
hold on. The John Wall and Boogie Cousins thing is a little different because once they got rid of Westbrook, he didn't want to be there no more. And I can understand that because it's like, yo, this ain't, you know, these guys are good, but this ain't no championship caliber team. And I there's not one person that could tell me that adding John Wall and getting rid of Westbrook and bringing in Boogie Cousins is like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the championship.
No, but they're competitive. I mean, they brought in Christian Woods, who's having a phenomenal season so far. Right. And here's my thing, right? And me and you have been back and forth offline about this. It's all about open line of communication. You know what I mean? Like, if it's nothing personal against John Wall or Boogie Cousins, what's wrong with pulling them to the side outside of the media and saying, like, look, hey, it's nothing personal. I don't want to be here anymore. I have nothing against you. I'm not in. I need a new change of scenery, and go about your business that way. But to just get it to the point to where everybody feels like you disrespected them, or they feel like that you were just being a diva. It doesn't have to be that way if you present it the right way.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he went about it the right way, but he didn't
He
want
got what he wanted.
huh?
He got what he wanted.
Yeah, and so I'm not saying that he went about it the right way, but what I would say is that he was checked out from the get go, and not Harden, but Wall, Cousins, Wood, even Gordon, they were all collateral damage. I promise you that he has no ill will towards those guys. I think it was more of he wanted to just get the hell out of there, and they just happened to be in the way, unfortunately. And it doesn't make him look any better. It doesn't make him look good, but he did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even remember when I think they played he played in the preseason, right?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. So it was the first game.
No.
He did. He played like one game, and I don't even think Wall played that much. And then, when he played in the regular season, Wall didn't play because of, I think, COVID or what, contact tracing. It was just crazy. I don't even think they played together that much. So
yeah, but again, I go back to communication. Like when LeBron James left Miami to go back to Cleveland, the first thing that he did was he sat Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh down, and they went to lunch, and he said, "Hey, these are my plans." Now, I'm not saying that anybody owes anybody an explanation. I mean, they're grown men. You can move however you want to move, but I'm sure that went a lot further with them at least knowing, like, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is what my next move is. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with him. He could have sat all those guys down and been like, look, I don't want to be here anymore. And they understand the business of it, and they just could have moved forward and things could have went a whole different way. He could have played with the organization, how he needed to play with the organization, but just the respect of, hey, look, it doesn't matter what they do. I want to be out of here. It's nothing personal. Then everybody knows how to respond and everybody knows how to, take you. But to just go off like, yo, they're just not good enough. Then yeah, people are going to have a little bit of ill will. Regardless if James Harden has ill will toward them.
So, and we talked about this last week about that last press conference. I think at that point he knew exactly what he was doing, and it was a excuse me, it was one of those, they're not moving fast enough for me. I need to make this move. I need to do something. And it may not have even been his idea. It may have been his agent's idea or some of his people. And you have to say this. And he said, because what that was like an atomic bomb. He got traded the next day. That was like an atomic bomb, what he said.
No, I don't even think it was even calculated at the press conference. I think he just was asked a question and he just responded honestly. Like I don't really think it was like, okay, I'm going to say this to get me traded. I think he wanted to get traded and he wanted to go, but I think I think that was his honest opinion. Like I don't think that somebody told him, oh, you got to say this. I think he really thought that they weren't good enough to contend. And here's the thing too, right? And I want to defend James Harden a little bit. Players know players. You know what I mean? And he probably looked at it like, okay, we're looking at it from a fan standpoint. Like, oh, John Wall is balling. He's there in practice. He probably looking like, nah, yo, it ain't gonna work. It ain't good enough. I mean, they know. And that's probably why he was just like, you know what? Nah, this ain't gonna work. And I think the organization, just with some of the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, was like, nah, this situation is not going to get better because these players are starting to look like, yo, it's in your court. Like, what are you going to do? This guy is not coming to training camp. He's not really working out. He showed up out of shape. He's not listening to nobody. He's picking fights at practice. Like, are you going to make a move? And you've got a new GM, you've got a new coach that people are watching. They're like, yo, you just gonna let him punk you like that, or you gonna roll over?
I mean, and I get it, and so I definitely understand. I definitely understand. And Harden, I think these guys are smarter than we think, man. They are. So you know what? Before we get into that, let's go to the winner of the week so we can get that out the way, because I think this conversation we're about to have, it's going to take a bit of some time. So let's get to the winner.
I'll knock the winner of the week out.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, so my winner of the week this week is the Houston Texans. The reason why they're my winner of the week is you take somebody like Deshaun Watson. I mean, ultra competitive, doesn't cause any problems, has been nothing but short of a franchise player. I mean, he's been everything that you could ask of him. And the only thing he asks is, hey, can you involve me in the process? They told him that he was going to be involved in the process, and then just turned around and just basically betrayed his trust. And I think ultimately they chose the new GM over Deshaun Watson, which I think was a mistake. I mean, Deshaun Watson is a generational talent. You need to surround pieces with him, and to choose a GM over generational talent, it's just mind-boggling. Like how do you do that? Why do you do that? And it just tells you that the Houston Texans, man, they're not going to be good. It's a jacked up organization, and Deshaun Watson, good for him for standing his ground and saying, yo, I want to be out. I want to be out of there. And good riddance for him. Not answering any text messages, not answering any calls from the team. Hey, I'm rooting for him.
All right, so that was good, and I feel like they're fools. The Texans are so stupid, and this is why. They paid all this money. I want to say upwards of, it was millions of dollars. It wasn't even like hundreds, thousands of dollars. It was millions to get this consultant firm to go out and help them find the the right GM, right coach. And they gave them their recommendation. All the recommendations that they gave them, they said, nah, and they hired the GM that they hired. And it just says to you, like, what are you guys doing? You're not trying to win now. Ultimately, you're going to waste the best years of this guy's career. And again, I agree. Congrats to Deshaun Watson for stepping up and standing up for himself, because that's crazy. And then you have, all he asks is, involve him in the process. They didn't involve him when they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. He goes out, has the season that he has. Then they looking for a coach and a GM. And I believe he did say something about Eric Bieniemy to them, and they didn't even. Eric Bieniemy wasn't on their list initially. Now he is. They want to interview him. I've seen people say that Eric Bieniemy is the only thing that could keep Deshaun Watson in Houston, and I don't think that's the case. And if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm keeping my butt in Kansas City if I don't have Deshaun Watson, and I will go on record again as saying, and this don't really have nothing to do with anything. I say, if you flip-flop Deshaun Watson with Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs still win the Super Bowl. And that's to stay the same.
Yeah.
Not my fault.
Yeah, no. I think that's more than fair. If I'm Eric, I chill in Kansas City. I don't take these crappy jobs and just. I mean,
I would.
Huh?
I would.
You wouldn't stay in Kansas City?
If I could get a head coach in the city, no.
See, I think sometimes, man, you got to make sure you get in the right situation too.
Yeah, but you got to think about this. Kansas City wasn't what it is now when Andy Reid got there. They sucked. That's why Andy Reid got there. A lot of these jobs, you got to turn the organization around. Even with Doug Peterson, when he got the Philly was in the dumps. They had just got rid of Chip Kelly. So, and you know how disastrous that was. So I mean, even Sean McVay. I mean, so they may look crappy now, but the Jets' job is not a crappy job because Miami don't have an opening. So there's some openings where it's like, they got money, they got picks, and I might be able to get Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of talking that he may go to the Jets. The Jets have the most outside of Miami to what they can offer the Texans. An ideal situation would be the Colts, but I think everybody knows they'd be idiots to trade him in their division. Same with Jacksonville. I mean, that'd be a good situation, but they're not going to trade him in a division. I think the San Francisco 49ers would be a good fit for him. Not just to say that it's my team or whatever, but I think you put him with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, that's a good fit.
I'll say this. That's the last thing that division wants to see is Deshaun Watson with the 49ers. That is so. No, those three teams they better come up with a package to send to Houston so he doesn't go to the 49ers. They better do everything in their power for him not to get to that. Because if he gets to the 49ers, NFC West was already a tough division. If he gets to the 49ers, you might have a situation where all four teams make it to the playoffs. Because that's, I mean, it's possible because they got the extra. That's a man.
Yeah, it can happen. And if I'm the 49ers, I'm trying to go all in. I mean, really, any team out there should be trying to go all in to get this guy. I mean, guys like this, and we watched one retire today, like Phillip Rivers. Like you're not going to get that sort of talent. I mean, you may get it in the draft, but it's lightning in the bottle. I mean, this guy is proven. He's done it with like little talent around him. Go get this man if you have the opportunity. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm rooting for my 49ers. Wouldn't be surprised if he's a Jet and the Texans are idiots.
So we should be having some guests in a little bit. We had to change some things around, but I do want to get this conversation in, and we're gonna go back to basketball for probably the next 10 or so minutes because we have to talk about this. And this is Kyrie Irving, and we all know what happened. He's pretty much not played a game in the last two and a half weeks or so. And there were a number of reasons why. We saw him at a unmasked at a party for his sister, and we know that there hasn't been much communication with the organization. The floor is yours, Scotty. I'll let you start, and then and we'll have a discussion.
So here's my thing, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about communication. I felt that he could have handled the situation a lot different. I read this morning, though, that he did address the team and he did address the coaches. I would have personally liked him to set the accountability in the media, but if the team is okay with it, if the organization is okay with it, then I'm good with it. I will say this about Kyrie Irving. This was his one pass with that organization. If he does anything close to that again, they're going to look to get out trade him.
Scott, I hate you. Because I was ready to come on here. All the last 2 days, I was prepared to fight. And I knew I shouldn't have had no conversations with you and everybody else yesterday. I just knew it. I know I should just kept it to myself. But no.
So let's go back. So hold on. In all fairness, because you're ready for that. My stance, my stance yesterday, I just kind of was like, I was disgusted that he didn't take any accountability the way he handled it with the Nets. I felt like that he should have opened the line of communication. Okay, look, if you got to be out for personal reasons, you got to be out for personal reasons, but you still got to let your coach know. You got to let the organization know. And for him to send a text through Revert and not talk to his coach, I thought that was just, that was wrong. And I felt like he should have accepted some sort of accountability for that. Now, we are talking about Kyrie Irving, so I don't expect him to do that, but it would have been nice for him to at least say it. Now, maybe he said it behind closed doors and he didn't want to give people like myself the satisfaction of seeing him say it. I don't know. But, yeah, that was my stance more so yesterday, to where it's kind of like, yeah, okay, he was out for mental health. I get all that. People struggle with depression, and, there's nothing to joke with, but you still should communicate that to somebody. Or if you did it wrong, at least accept accountability that, hey, I could have handled this situation a little bit different. This is why I was out. And then that kills all that.
So my thoughts on that were, and I guess we're here. So let's say he was depressed. I don't know if he was depressed, but I do think that there is a mental health aspect to it, right? And sometimes people just shut down, man, and it's like, people shut down just because of depression, and you don't know what's going on with that particular person. So if he was in a position where, and somebody brought it to my attention, I didn't think about it, that he is turning 29 this year, and his mom did pass away when she was 29, when I believe he was only 4 or 5 or something like that. So that could possibly mess with someone and affect someone a lot differently than you would normally deal with things, and it was like, I felt like he was in a space where he may have said something to some of his teammates, not necessarily the Steve Nash or D'Antoni or any of those other coaches, and or the team psychologists, if they have one. I don't feel that the Nets were all in the dark. Like the front office, everybody was in the dark. I do feel like some people knew something and they couldn't say something. Which leads me to my second point.
See, I don't believe. I won't let you get to your second point. I don't believe that for a second.
Okay, but this leads me to my second point of the Nets being in on it, and hear me out. So before the season started, we know James Harden said he wanted out. As soon as Westbrook was out, he said, "I want out of here. I don't want to be here." A lot of people, because Brooklyn was the first team. We all know that Brooklyn was the first team. And they was like, man, Houston ain't gonna give him for whatever. They was like, you're gonna have to get Kyrie. That's all you heard, Kyrie for Harden. And I felt like the Nets wanted to make this deal, not Kyrie for Harden. They wanted to bring Harden to Brooklyn, and they were gonna find a way to do it. And I do feel that, because it was ironic that now all of a sudden you see Harden in a fat suit. And then Kyrie starts going on. He leaves. They just say he leaves, and you don't hear anything. My thinking is, hey, we get him out of here. That creates bad press for Kyrie, and it's like you started hearing media saying, oh, he should retire. We heard that he should retire. Who would want to deal with Kyrie? Blah 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 blah. All these different things started building up. So now Houston is like, nah, we don't want that problem. We don't want that problem. What else do you got? And they ended up getting all these picks. And so the Nets said, perfect. And again, Nash, the coaching staff may not have had anything to do with it. It may have been the owner or the GM and Kyrie and his people, and they comprised this plan. They comprised this plan, and ultimately got rid of LeVert, those picks, the pieces that they lost, and got Harden. And I listen. I've heard of crazier things, and to think that the Nets didn't have anything to do with this. Now, granted, I'm saying this if Kyrie didn't necessarily have, whatever issue he had with personally, the Nets could have very well. I mean, of course, they wouldn't come out and say that, but it's very feasible that they constructed this whole plan just to get Harden and not have to give up Kyrie.
Yeah, I think you give them too much credit. Anything is feasible, and you're right. I've heard crazier stuff, but I think it was just as simple as they probably tried to get Kyrie initially, and they realized the Nets weren't budging on that. And the fact that they have John Wall, it was just like, you know what? We're not going to take Kyrie because you got Kyrie, John Wall. It's not really a good fit. For the coach to come out and say that he hadn't talked to James Harden, that spoke volumes. No matter what the Kyrie, I'm sorry. That spoke volumes.
That's part of the plan, Scotty.
Yeah, I don't think it was a plan.
Steve Nash can't go in and say, "Yeah, I talked to Kyrie. He's doing great," because that ultimately would put Kyrie in a better light. That would make that would put him in a better light.
But I don't think the trade had nothing to do with Houston and the Nets, like, them not wanting them. I think if Houston still could have got Kyrie Irving, they would have took him. They would have did a 3-way trade. They would have did something. But if they could have got him in that deal, they would have got him in that deal. I think they just realized that the Nets weren't going to budge. They got to the point to where their situation was becoming toxic in Houston. They had to get rid of him. I feel like the situation now, what I do believe the Nets were in on is I feel like that they thought maybe Kyrie could retire. And they say, you know what? We're going to go out here and get James Harden to satisfy Kevin Durant so that we're still competitive. And if we lose Kyrie Irving or we're in an event where we've got to trade him, we've got 2 solid pieces there. I think they did it more as, okay, we're going to get a super team, but if we don't get a super team, we still have a team to compete in the East. So that's why I think they were in on. I think that Kyrie probably needs to watch himself to where if he does something like this again, regardless of the situation or something, they're probably going to look to move him. And now that they have Harden, they have that leverage to where they can say, all right, we could be done with Kyrie, get some pieces for him, and go on about their business. But yeah, I don't think it was that scripted. I don't think it was that scripted to keep them from getting Kyrie. I think everything just happened the way it happened. Mm-hmm. I feel like that he didn't talk to Steve Nash, the organization. If they would have talked to him, they would have relayed that message to Steve Nash. He went out there and he said it. He was like, you know what? I hadn't spoke to him. Later on, once they found out the whole entire situation, they stopped speaking on it. But he could have handled that from the get-go a lot better. It's just my take on it.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait for 20 years from now. And the the 30 for 30 on Kyrie Irving comes out and he spills all the beans because
So you're missing where I'm going, right? Everything that you said is legitimate. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be out for mental health. I'm not saying that you shouldn't break down, or I'm not saying that when you're in that state, you know how you're going to react. I'm just saying that once you do come out of that state, because we all make mistakes, right? But it's about owning it and how you handle it moving forward from there. I personally would have liked him to at least address that. He didn't. He's not going to. Not to the media. He did it for his team. So that's really all that counts. So everybody else, like myself, we just got to get over it. All right, Let's look at the super team. We're going to premiere tonight.
And here's the thing. Scotty. It's burning guys like Stephen A. Smith up. It is burning him up that he can't, or any of those other guys that, because when he addressed the media yesterday, he clearly did, he clearly didn't want to. He was just like, yeah, well, it was he didn't want to be there, and and he addressed these guys not by name. He didn't address them by name, but he was like, these guys don't know me, but they think they know. They haven't even got a chance. They haven't even, taken the time to even try and get to know me. And I think that's a fair assessment. There were all these narratives about Kyrie when, the time that he was off, and nobody heard from Kyrie. So just to say, I thought that hearing Stephen A. say he should retire, I thought that was going way too far. I just thought that was going way too far, and I thought he was out of line, honestly.
No, I don't feel like he was out of line. I think he was just following the evidence that we were presenting. I mean, you got to think about it, right? And regardless, and I mean, I'm not saying that people can't celebrate with their family, but he was celebrating with his family. Okay, so people are looking at that. And then they're looking at him on a DA's call, a Zoom call, right before tip-off. So the assumption is that he's just out there doing what he wants to do. And he was doing a lot of stuff for social justice and stuff. So that was the narrative that was being pushed, is that he was taking time away because he had issues that were more important than basketball. Now it's coming full circle, and we're realizing that, okay, it was really personal issues. There was a lot going on or whatnot. But from what the narrative was being pushed, it's like, okay, if you got time to do all that, you don't want to play basketball. You've pretty much given up on your team. Your team hasn't heard anything from you, because this is the narrative that was being pushed. Then why not retire, go about your business, do what you got to do, not hold the Nets hostage, let everybody know, openly communicate what you got going on, and keep it moving. Kyrie Irving cannot be mad at everybody for interpreting that, because number one, he never communicated himself what was going on. We didn't hear about it until yesterday.
Well, you know what? And it just makes, I'm telling you, and that just makes my stories just that much better and more realistic than any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm glad he's back. I mean, we all want to see the super team. So, I mean, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's okay. And, I mean, life will go on. And 2 weeks from now, nobody will be talking about this.
You're right. 2 weeks by tomorrow. If they all go for 30 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking about any of the Central Florida.
Or he come out there and burn sage and go for 50 or something crazy like that. All would be forgiven. Nobody will care.
So yeah, you're right. So now we're gonna have a little fun, man.
Okay.
Let me get the horns ready. Let me get some horns in here real quick. All right, so I can't believe I'm about to do this, right? So as some of you may know, on Fridays, since the playoffs started, we've been doing an I can't even talk. An off the record roundtable for the playoffs. Just having an open conversation, open pick, making picks, talking about the games, who we think is gonna win. Last week, my week wasn't as good as it was the week before, but that's okay.
Had a great week. Had a great week last week.
Shut up.
Had a great week.
But one of the things that happened on Friday that came out of nowhere was a bet between Phil, who was a Ravens fan, and Mike, who is a Buffalo fan. So the bet was whoever lost had to shave their beard and have like the super thin beard. So unfortunately, Phil had to handle some personal things, and we respect his his privacy. So he's not going to do it right now off the record today. He's going to do it on Friday during the show. But I gotta let this. I gotta play the song, man. I gotta play the song. I ain't even gonna lie, this one's kind of hard, yo.
We the mafia, we the mafia, Bills mafia, Bills mafia, we the mafia, we the mafia, Bills mafia, Bills mafia, we the mafia.
I can't believe I'm doing this, Scotty.
Bills mafia, we the mafia, Bills mafia, we the mafia. In the AFC East, we gon' run the thing out for 17 weeks. Yeah,
Right, man.
Fucking cheap me to say playoffs. Yeah, you know we going on. Captain shaking at the coin toss. Say mafia, that means family to me, cause we stand with the team, best fans in the league.
All right. We're gonna cut that off.
Love the music. Love the music.
So I'll say this. Benny the Butcher, who is a Buffalo native, is a damn good rapper. And he did it. I ain't gonna lie. I listened to that joint a couple times today, and I was like, oh, this was all right.
Yo, Mike look like Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, so
Buffalo $1 million man.
Hey man, I've been collecting all weekend, man. I'm feeling like money.
So I think that was the bet of the weekend. I will say I picked Baltimore as well. I wouldn't have bet on that, but I did pick the only reason why I picked Baltimore was because a few weeks ago I said if once they play an AFC North opponent, they're gonna lose, and that wasn't the case. But how you feeling, man? I know, man. If you don't take those damn shades off,
They just call me Stunner Mike. I'm here. So yeah, I'll let you. I'll take them off there. I want nobody to think I was in a fight or something over the weekend.
So Mike, let me ask you this: at any point during before the game, not during the game, but at any point before the game, were you at any point nervous that you might have to cut your beard and have the super thin mustache?
I wasn't nervous, man. I was nervous. I wasn't nervous about the whole beard thing, so that's not a problem. I mean, I was nervous more about the game. So I've been nervous for the last 10 weeks, but we keep winning. We keep winning. I mean, we win them close. We blow people out. We win them every single different type of way. I got lost to a Hail Mary. I mean, we just you can't take us down right now. I think we destined.
So what's your biggest concerns about Kansas City?
My biggest concerns are going to be not scoring enough points early. So with Kansas City, like we like to shut teams down more in the second half. But with Kansas City, you got to go toe-to-toe early. First quarter, we need to either be tied or up. If neither one of those happen, I'm concerned because you're not going to come back on Kansas City.
So y'all play. I mean, because I do feel like the game was a lot closer than the score. I mean, the Ravens was actually they were in the red zone, and it was 10-3. They were in the red zone and before he threw the pick six. So the offense, Buffalo's offense, wasn't that great on Saturday. The defense stepped up with that play, but I mean, you got a whole different ball game if they do score, But that can't happen. You're not gonna beat Kansas City with 17.
You're not. But we play like this all year though, so where we got this bend but don't break defense. So teams get down because of our zone coverage and man and our blitzing and all that. But then when they're within that 20-yard line, either they're turning the ball over or they're kicking field goals. I mean, I've watched the team do this all year long. So I don't know if it's going to bite us this week.
So let me ask you this: what does Sean McDermott have to do to slow the Chiefs down?
You got to pressure.
It's got to be in his game plan.
In this game plan, we got two things. We got to pressure Mahomes, and we got to tackle. The first time we played the Chiefs. We weren't tackling that rookie Clyde. What was it? Hilaire, whatever his name is.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. We weren't tackling him. Like, we were running right by him. So the whole game, and plus we didn't have our key player. You guys may not know this or not. This is why I still take those bets. Our key player is Matt Milano. Okay. So Matt Milano this year, this linebacker, he covers tight ends. He can play from sideline to sideline. He run about a 4.5. He's gonna be a coveted linebacker. I'm telling you, we're 12-0 this year when he plays. 12-0 this year. We haven't lost a game when that linebacker plays. He didn't play Kansas City.
So, Mike, quick question for you: how many people's money are you scheduled to take Saturday? How many people's money are you?
Hey man, I probably got about 1,100 out there right now. And if you want to know, how much money I probably won on my team this year, I would probably say this year, just on the Bills alone, I'm probably over about 16,000. And we're like the only team in the league that covers the spread about 90% of our games. You look at the score.
So I'll say
not even the Chiefs. Chiefs don't cover. Chiefs don't score that many points.
So I'll say this. in regards to that. You are absolutely right. There were some lines this year that I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like when they played the 49ers, I want to say that they were the Bills were like a 5-point favorite. And then they played it was some crazy lines. I couldn't believe it. And so I feel like Mike had something to do with that. I don't know if him and Charles got together and hacked like the system to make these crazy lines, because I was like, there's no way that Buffalo. I want to say even they were like I think a 7-point or I don't even know if it was 7 points the last game of the season against the Dolphins. And I'm like,
7. It was like 5. It was something like that.
Crazy. And I said, I'm getting in on this because once he told me about these lines and I started looking at like the Buffalo line, I'm like, this makes no sense. It makes no sense. So
he was dead on. He was dead on all season with that.
All season, I'll tell you. I said, anybody want some free money?
So what is the line right now? What is the line?
We 3 points to the. I think it was 3 points to the Chiefs. I got in on that, of course. But 3 points. So it's kind of an even game.
Yeah, that's even.
because they're at home. Yeah. So it's one of those toss-ups.
It's probably going to change once they actually confirm that Mahomes is going to play.
Right. So they know Mahomes is playing. There's no man. NFL is entertainment. They need to add entertainment by the end of that. There's no way Mahomes will not play. There's no way he won't pass any type of test that they give. Now, when he takes that first hit, because if it was really a neck injury or a nerve injury, I'm concerned that he's going to take some hits. And if you ever worked out and had that neck injury and you try to turn real fast, when you come back a little too early, I think that's what's going to happen, because he's going to be looking around and he's going to get another injury.
Well,
I think he's going to come back too fast.
I got 2 things, Mike. I got 2 things. Mahomes ain't the reason they beat y'all the first time, and I don't know, man. I think that 4-leaf clover that you got that you wear every week in your back pocket, that joint might be dead, man. So if y'all don't know, me and Mike got a bet this weekend. I ain't shaving. We just got a regular bet. So Friday we'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll see what happens. But
that is a scary bet. Very, very, very scary bet. Either way,
interesting. They're gonna have fans. So I'll say that having fans was really big for y'all last week. I do feel like I think it affected Baltimore more than it affected the Colts. That center destroyed the Ravens. But it is what it is. That game is over. So
man, I know I know this is kind of what the media does. They give a lot of credit to everyone else, but you got to give credit to that defense, man. So it's not the center's fault. He was getting hit. He was getting blown up the whole day by our defense.
No, it was the center fault. It was the center fault.
He was getting blown up, man. He was getting blown up. If you look at the tape, as soon as he was hiking that ball, they were putting pressure up that middle all day on him. So that was part of the game. That was part of the game plan. So he was seeing ghosts.
Oh God. No. All right. So Mike will be on next week. On Friday. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, I got concerns about the Chiefs' defense. They made Baker Mayfield like all pro. He had his way with that Chiefs defense.
Baker Mayfield may be an all pro though. Baker Mayfield had a really good season. Oh my God. Are we gonna do this? Really? He didn't have a good season? Oh Jesus.
He had a decent season. His team was running the ball the entire year.
There we go.
I mean, he showed some flashes against the Chiefs defense. So I don't know if it was Baker Mayfield is really good or the Chiefs defense is just that terrible. But I wouldn't say he had a really good season. I think he had a good season as far as a team concept, as far as they made it to their first playoffs. As far as himself, he had a pretty average season in regards of a quarterback. Nah, he wasn't no all pro.
I didn't say
nowhere.
Whoa, stop it! I didn't say he was an all pro this year.
You said he might be an all pro.
I said he may one day be an all pro. I didn't say he's an all pro.
Okay, maybe one day be an all pro. Okay, I thought you were like, yo, this man.
No, I said he had. I said he had a good season. If you had to rank the quarterbacks in his division, he was the second best in his division.
You think so?
Yeah,
I still think he
the third best.
Yeah.
You're crazy if you think Ben Roethlisberger had a better season.
Big Ben had a better season than Baker Mayfield.
No, Scott, no, he didn't.
And I would put him third, though. You got the Bengals quarterback.
Yeah, Joe Burrow before he got hurt. Yeah, he was the fourth best quarterback in that division before Joe Burrow got hurt.
That's false.
They were talking about at the beginning of the year that he was the third best quarterback in Ohio.
So you said that
they said Justin Fields was better than that man.
So you said so we're just gonna go by numbers, right? I guess that's pretty much what you got to go by now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger threw the ball. He threw for 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Baker Mayfield threw for 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah, but Big Ben sat out the game also. Does your stats say that too?
Yeah, he played 15 games, and Mayfield played 16 games. What is your point? What does that have to do with anything?
So my point is he played
Browns receivers.
Say that again.
Who's the Browns receivers?
Let's not forget he lost his number one receiver for the year. He lost his number one receiver, and his tight ends were stinking it up at times.
So no, but let's go back to this argument though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben passed for more yards, had more touchdowns.
He threw for 100.
Okay, and one less game.
Hold on. Time out. So see, that's why. See how you try to change the narrative. Let's not forget that Pittsburgh can't run the ball. They have one of the worst rushing games. They're one of the worst rushing teams in the league. What are you talking about? He threw the ball way more than Mayfield. Whatever his name is, Mayfield.
That didn't sound like an All Pro or a Pro Bowl type season.
Christ. I never said any of that. I said he had a good season, and you said he had a so if he had a decent season, then that means Roethlisberger was decent.
Yeah, but the question was, you said that he was the second best quarterback in that division, and I said that,
and he was second.
yeah, and I think I may take my chances on a healthy Burrow.
No, what? No.
You would take Burrow over Mayfield
This year? No.
of course, this year he's a rookie. Yeah, this year.
I'm not taking a rookie over back. No. No.
Dude, you've seen his arm talent. You've seen the games Burrow played. He's he broke all these rookie records.
I'm asking y'all a question. You saying this year, or are you talking about in
This
the future?
year?
Talk about this shit.
No.
This year.
That's only going to give me 10 games this year. That doesn't even make any sense.
His ACL wasn't his problem. It's not like he got hurt running. He was.
And he didn't and he didn't have the run game, and his receivers were about similar to what Baker Mayfield's were.
That's a lie. He definitely had he had a better running game than Pittsburgh.
But he didn't have a better running game than Baker Mayfield.
Well, not too many teams have a better running game
Exactly.
than Baker.
He played for the Bengals, man. He played for the Bengals. He was fun to watch for the Bengals. Come on, man. The Bengals.
So we'll give you that. He's the third best quarterback in that division. Man, it might be disrespectful.
Roethlisberger was not that great this year. For Roethlisberger standings, no, he was not that great.
Well, you got to take out his last 5 games. He's just old. His first 10 games, he was great. His last 5 games, age creeps up on you. Imagine us playing 16 games right now at our age. That's Roethlisberger.
Right.
Could you do it? Could you go to practice and play 16 games?
He get $40 million. He should be able to do it.
No, man, he get $40 million just because they give him that money.
So I will say this. I will say this, Ant, though. If you're a Browns fan and you're a Baker Mayfield fan, watching them play that Kansas City Chiefs gave you hope. Now it's going to be different. We'll see what Josh Allen can do. I think Josh Allen's going to do a little bit better than Baker Mayfield. He's showing it. We'll see. If they shut down Josh Allen, then maybe there is a point to what you're saying that Baker Mayfield is a lot better than we thought he was.
I mean, you saw him against the Ravens. And you saw flashes of like, oh, this guy may have it. We don't know. I mean,
he could throw the ball. He made some throws that I didn't think or know that he could have thrown. He showed me that Cleveland should at least not change their quarterback plan and probably stay with him and give him an opportunity. So we'll see what step he takes this year. Next year. But as far as this year, he wasn't better than Big Ben, bro.
So next year is the last year of quarterbacks. So who gets extended and who doesn't? We all know Josh Allen is going to get paid, but you got Lamar, you got Darnold, you got Baker. Who's getting the money?
Lamar, Josh Allen, Lamar. I think they're going to extend Baker Mayfield.
You think they're worth 30, 40 million? You think they're worth $40 million a year now?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would franchise them.
So my thing is this. It really depends. It really depends on, one, Odell Beckham. 2, what they're gonna do with Nick Chubb. They need to keep Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but I think Kareem Hunt is gonna be gone after this year. So you need to get you still need to provide them the weapons. I mean let's be honest. Let's be honest. Josh Allen, y'all was saying the same thing about Josh Allen until he got Stephon Diggs. He got Stephon Diggs and took his game from here to here.
So the difference. You can't use that comparison because Baker Mayfield had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and Hooper and Drew.
11-5. Scotty, they went 11-5.
I give him that, but he's got all the talent in the world. Like you can't argue that they need to go get a better receiver. He's got talent.
I didn't say that. What you putting words in my? I never said that.
Okay.
I never said that. All I said was Allen once he got Diggs, went from here and took his game to another level this year. And with Baker Mayfield has shown flashes where you're like, oh, we can give him the money. We can give him the money because he's shown that he can lead the team. Now, do they need to see more? That's up to them. But
I think right now, if you give them that money, you end up like the Eagles, and you end up like the Rams. I will wait to see a little bit more.
I don't agree there because the Browns have way better weapons than the Eagles and the Rams. They have way better weapons. They have look. You know what the Browns also have? They have a better O-line than both of those teams.
But they had these same weapons since Baker was a rookie. I mean, you got to win a playoff game with that team.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, nah.
They just won the playoff game, and they almost beat the champs.
This is what was his third year? We got third year?
Yeah, he'll be going in his fourth year next year.
Yeah. And he got better every year.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Baker has got better.
Look, they went so his rookie year. Let's not forget that he broke Peyton Manning's record his rookie year, right? Let's not just all forget about that. He broke that record last year. Yes, they took a step back, but we could all agree that he had some screwed up coaching and with whatever that was Freddie Kitchens. That he probably worse than Gates because at least Gates made it through the season. Then this year you got Stefanski or whatever his name is, and he balled out. He had a good season. Once it started clicking, it started clicking. Look. I mean, they lost the game against Boston.
I'll give you that. It did start clicking. It started clicking for him, but I don't know if I'm ready to pay him $40 million though.
Right.
I mean, it started clicking.
It is what it is. Somebody got to get the money, and the quarterback. Unfortunately, the quarterback always gets the money. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback is gonna be they're gonna be 10, 11, 12, 13% of your salary cap, and he's shown that he can lead. They beat the shit out. Excuse me. They beat the brakes off of the Steelers, and then they were. Some could say they got robbed on that fumble touchback. We don't know, but they lost by 5 points to the defending champs. Yes, Mahomes got injured. It's football. Things happen.
You gotta win that game, man. You don't got Mahomes the whole quarter. You got Chad Henne, who I didn't even know was still in the league. Yeah, and you can't win that game.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, and I understand that. You gotta knock out a champ. You know what I mean? And they have depth. That's one thing people sleep on. Is you said something about Buffalo's defense, bend but don't break. Kansas City has the most opportunistic defense the last 2 years than any other team.
In the NFL. They got the last ranked defense in the NFL, man.
I don't know about that, and I can look it up. But here's the thing.
Look it up.
But here's the thing, though. You can say all you want, but they bend but don't break. They bend but don't, and it depends on the team. They bend but don't break. That's how they've won all those games. Is because they get the stops when they need them. When they were playing the Raiders the second time, or when they played the Broncos, when they played the Dolphins, when they played all these teams the Falcons. Yeah, they didn't blow them out, but they got the stops when they needed them. They got those key stops, whether it was in the first, second, fourth quarter.
Nobody is disputing that.
What are you talking about?
Like you're changing the argument.
I am not. I'm not. I'm talking about what he just brought up. He said that they need to win that. They should have won that game. And I said that the Chiefs defense make plays when they have to.
I think they're last against the run. Hold on, let's take Baker out of it. The Chiefs are last against the run, right? And Cleveland's got one of the best run games in the NFL. You got Chubb and Hunt.
That's what I'm telling you. They got the stops when they needed them. Kansas City has proven that you don't have to have the number one defense to win the championship. Last season, their defense wasn't that great. The season before that, their defense was even worse, and they should have still been in a Super Bowl, but they lost off of an offsides. So yes, they get the stops when they need them. They don't have a great defense, and we all know that. No matter if it's the first, second, you can score 40 points. If they have 42 and they need one stop, they're gonna get the stop, and they've proven that. We gotta go. I got it.
Hey, I'll leave off.
I had to get myself. that one.
Yo, I'll leave y'all with this. I be trying to tell y'all at a Cleveland Browns fan. I be trying to tell y'all, man. Yo, you know how passionate you got about
everything I just said had nothing to do with the Browns.
Unzip that jacket. We know you got a Baker jersey on. Or something.
Yeah, Baker. Fan.
Everything I just said had nothing to do with the Browns. We were talking about the Chiefs. It had nothing to do with the Browns. And I said the Chiefs defense make plays when they need to. But hey, Mike, I see you Friday. It's been real. On Friday, I don't know, because I swear to God, Mike has some different Buffalo paraphernalia on every time I see him. So I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh.
It say Money Mike on that joint.
Hey, Money Mike, that's the custom right there, baby. I'm ready to collect this weekend, Ant. I'm ready.
So all right, so Friday we'll be back off the record roundtable playoff edition. Should be fun. We're actually gonna see the bet being paid that day. And yeah, man. I think we just about done here, right?
Yeah, to my favorite Browns fan.
Appreciate you, fellas.
That's boy Scotty B.
Jerk.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo.